Srimate Ramanujaya Namaha. Introduction to Sri Vaishnavism, Part 4, the Bhagavad Gita. People refer to the Bhagavad Gita as the Bible of Hinduism, as the greatest summary of the Vedanta, and people have interpreted it in many, many different ways. But the essence of the Bhagavad Gita is simply a conversation, a discussion between Krishna, the manifestation of the Supreme Being, Sriman Narayana on earth, and his devotee and friend, Arjuna. The original question that Arjuna was asking is whether it was right for him to fight, since the people he was going to be battling were his own cousins, the Kauravas. His cousins, his grandparents, his uncles, aunts, they were all involved in the other family, and they were all going to be challenged by Arjuna. Arjuna did not lack confidence in his ability to defeat them, but because of the fact that he would defeat them, he felt bad. He felt bad that he would be taking the lives of people that are his own kith and kin. So the original question to Krishna was his actions correct, or would his actions be correct? Sri Krishna, the Supreme Being, used this opportunity to discuss with Arjuna not only whether or not he should fight, but rather a full conversation on the meaning of life and how we, as spiritual people, should live it. The great scholar acharya, also known as Alavandar in Tamil, has written a beautiful work summarizing the Gita in just 32 slokas called Gitartha Sangraha. In it he explains, first, the reasons for the Lord coming to earth, next, the concepts of karma, jnana, and bhakti yoga in the Gita, and finally how all of these apply to our lives in our seeking the ultimate good, which is by place with the Supreme Being eternally, such that we can serve him eternally. Sri Krishna is one of many, many manifestations or earthly incarnations, avataras, of the Supreme Being, Sriman Narayana. Sriman Narayana is the ultimate power in the universe. So there really is no need for him to come down to wage battles against Rakshasas, to fight demons, to battle evil kings, and all the things he has done. The reason for his coming is his compassion, his inability to be away from us, because he loves us so much. He wants to spend time with us. He wants to know we are doing okay. He wants to be there to give us solace and comfort and strength and wisdom. So he comes to earth in different forms, and there are uncountable numbers of forms, but 10 of them, we know them as Dashavataras. Those 10 forms are the ones that we all know. And the most popular of these, of course, is Sri Krishna. Sri Krishna's friendship with Arjuna is spoken about greatly in Mahabharata and praised. They are like brothers to each other. They are such close friends that they know each other's minds. So it surprises Krishna that he, as the charioteer to Arjuna, would suddenly watch his friend drop his weapons, start crying, and ask for wisdom as to whether or not what he's doing is the right thing. But perhaps we all go through times like this where there are so many moral questions, so many confusing things going on around us. We need to know, are we on the right track? The Gitartha Sangraha of Alavandar divides the Bhagavad Gita, the 18 chapters and 700 slokas of Bhagavad Gita, into 3 parts. Part 1 is what we'll discuss today, and it deals with karma and jnana yogas. Part 2 will deal with bhakti yoga, and part 3 will be the revelation of a deeper concept of yoga and ultimately ways to understand the Supreme Lord, the ways to achieve the Supreme Lord. In this first chapter, there are 2 concepts that are talked about. One is called karma. All of us interpret karma to be fate, but karma merely means action. And any act is karma. Any act is some karya. Any act in the world will produce some result, either to ourselves or someone else. So there is a karma and there is a palam to that karma, a fruit to that karma. So whatever action we do, we achieve a fruit. So it is best that we act in a way that is good for everyone. If we act simply just good for ourselves, it may cause harm to somebody else and we make enemies. If we simply do good for everyone else and not think of ourselves, it may bring harm to us. So when we think of an action, when we try and pursue something major in life, when we think about taking some course of action, we must decide whether that action is good for everyone, or at least good for the immediate people around us, such that the action will result in a positive fruit. That is Karma Yoga. It is through the practice of Karma Yoga that Jnanam comes. Jnana Yoga is self-awareness, because the discipline of Karma Yoga says that all of our desires are motivated by our mind and body. If we can keep them under our control, we can then master ourselves and know ourselves. And what are we? We are eternal. The real self, the real you that is speaking, talking, looking, laughing, that real you is a tiny atomic particle called a jiva or an atma. It is contained within the body, and it is operating this body as like a driver of a car drives a vehicle. We are operating a machine. The machine is the body, and we are the real self. Becoming aware of that, we recognize that self to be eternal, because when we simply think and not look at what age we were 15 years ago versus what age we are now, but simply think of ourselves, we realize that there is a consciousness that is operating, there is a consciousness that is aware of everything that is going on around it. From karma and jnana, we eventually come to bhakti, and that we'll discuss the next time. Srimate Ramanuja Namaha.